listen to this evil laugh in the background of this beat. That's hard. That is hard. I love that beat. What's up, everybody? Sorry, I ended up being out of town, coming back into town, and then being out of town, and then going back out of town. I'm serious. And then I came back into town and did it twice. It's nuts. But I hear now for the nation and your sanity. Even if I lose mine, and for your sake, then let it be so. What? R8RBEAR! Woo! Let's go! Yo, you know I don't waver. What? That's right. It's that time again for the best damn opening, woo, in Facebook and YouTube live history. You know it's true because it came out of my face. Often imitated, never duplicated. That fool with no hair that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! What? Woo! Woo! The R8RBEAR! R8RBEARs! No. I'm gonna talk you down. Don't jump. No. It's not the jump. It's the sudden stop at the bottom. Just hang on. We are Raider Nation for life. All right, shut up. No, you too. All right, whoops, wait a minute. All right, this thing's going to be stupid as long as I leave it on, so I'm going to turn it off. So it's not stupid the whole time doing all this nonsense because I'm getting notifications and whatchamacallits and whatever and those other things. And, people inboxing me and asking me questions and people, bitching about where have you been and all this other stuff. And Tradish! R8RBEAR Live! First comment. MVP tonight goes to... Oof! Oof! Essay! Woo! I even gave him a growl tonight. Big dog! Sup, man? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR. What's cracking with me? No, brother. What's cracking with you? Always there for R8RBEAR. Appreciate you, our gold medalist tonight. Essay Big Dog sneaking in there and winning one. Second place, my silver medal goes to Mark, that 5-emoji making son of a gun, and your 2-belt wearing champion, Vargas. Mark, don't worry about this one. SA Big Dog just got frisky. You know how dogs are. Sometimes when you let them out the gate and they run out and they see that green grass in the sun, they lose their mind and they're just running all over the place. So he was bound to win a gold tonight. Third place, my bronze medal goes to one of my favorite names, Ramiro. Woo! Cash flow. I couldn't hold it much longer than that. Cash Flow! What's up, brother? Welcome to the show and your lovely wife, but not that dirty brother of yours who won't release one of the greatest nicknames in all of nicknamery. That's a word, nicknamery, in all of nicknamery. Honorable mention goes to my good friend, Lucky Pace. What's up, Luck? Welcome to the show. John the Lion Leon right there, 9025. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Now moving on to Facebook. My gold medalist, my first place, my numero uno, el jefe, where I cut my teeth as a podcaster. Speak of the devil. LP, that sultry sounded son of a gun. Lucky Pace, your gold medalist tonight. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Appreciate you tuning in to see your boy, R8RBEAR. And silver medal to Karina. Woo! True hello! Who reminds all of you and reminds me to remind all of you that when stars are contributed to the show, they go to charities that we work with all over the world, including here in Arizona now, and we appreciate that very much. And some of those same contributions go to improvements to this show, you know, apps and programs and cameras and bug viruses and all that, you know. Okay. Third place, my bronze medal on the YouTubers. I mean, Facebook. Sorry, Facebook. I had a YouTuber in there. I'm like, wait a minute, how'd that get mentioned in? Jim G-Man Garrison. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR, my guy, Jim Garrison, who said merely, yo, bear. I love that. And up, hello. Appreciate the love and the stars. If you would, take a moment and push that subscribe button. Now, on Facebook, there are subscription fees. But if you like and want to support the show, feel free. YouTube, you have no excuse, okay? Get your ever-loving butt finger. Those were meant to be two different things. Just push subscribe. Hit like if you enjoy the show. Much love, you guys. Appreciate you. Okay, Alpha and Omega, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show forever. Michael Purifoy appearance. What's up, Michael? And Kevin Kahu Hano and the lovely wife, honey. On time tonight. You guys, stop it. Dustin King. Wow, legends in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. If you haven't seen it, Pete Carroll is on every $20 bill. I know. Damn, man. Here we go with the old guy jokes. Well, unfortunately, though, there is yet more drama. I mean, we got to go into a couple of different things. There's a couple of different things we got to kind of go over. But for example, did you notice that even though Greg Olson was given the power to be the offensive coordinator, the offense essentially looked the same after you fired the previous coordinator? So we know now if it was Chip Kelly, why does the offense look the same? Why would you keep running it the way he was? I don't think Chip Kelly was really running it. I think Chip Kelly got run out the front door, the back door, and the side door with a good kick in the butt for the paparazzi to get on camera. Not saying that he got screwed. I'm simply saying how do I say this? Every person of position on the Raiders was in conflict because they weren't Pete Carroll's guys. So Pete Carroll had to walk on eggshells around those guys because any mistakes he might make, even if Tom Brady and Mark Davis weren't there to see it, it was going to get reported up to them because of the ageism. Looking for any opportunity to go, oh, look, he's going into Alzheimer's. Hey, Tom, you should give me the job. Chip can run this offense into the ground. And we still didn't figure out the running game. And then you hear people talking about, well, fire Pete Carroll's son. All right. I mean, you know, the season's not going to get any better. And we're mathematically out of the playoffs. Can't win the division. And there's not enough games left to really say, hey, look at that. We won out. Well, even if you won out the last remaining games, which we know we can't, but even if we did, I mean, you know, then most of us would start bitching about the fact that it would be messing up our draft position. Oh, God. There are some good things to mention about what we saw. Oh, Kevin, okay. Kevin, look in my Raider Bear family store. I think it's there. If it's not, if you see one of the other bold colors like this, like yellow or the lime green, just click on one of those, and then usually it offers the other colors underneath it. If it doesn't, let me know. Then I'll see if I can find a link for it, and I'll hook you up. Lucky said we're picking top 3 for sure in 2026. So who we getting? Lucky, I would, rather than say who, I'll say position. I think that because this might be what people are saying is kind of a light quarterback draft, I would go after whoever the best guy is that I can get wherever I'm at. So if we end up in the top 3 and we get the 1, 2, or the 3 pick, whichever it is, I'm going for the best quarterback. I just think that you have to do that. Even if this looks like a small, I wanted to bring up the fact that this looks like a small quarterback class. Not that there aren't guys in this grouping that are going to come into the NFL and be good players. There are. It's just which one. Because among all the quarterbacks coming out of college right now, and I know you know this, I'm saying this pretty much for the rest of the audience, but whoever's coming out, we're going to only maybe see 4 guys, you know, maybe. And of those 4 to 6 guys, maybe 3 of them will be the one that really blossoms and come to fruition. And probably only 1, maybe 2 will be actual guys that can, they bring intangibles. They can catch the snap, roll right, roll left, avoid pressure, throw a zinger, you know, and be accurate and run and slide every once in a while, you know, that kind of thing. Smart quarterback that can control the game. Chris Strong, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. Get rid of Brandon. Get a new O-line coach and draft heavy on the O-line for 2026. Draft no quarterbacks worth drafting in the 2026 draft. Well, Kevin, I'm not saying that they're worth it. I'm just simply saying that you need to draft someone. You need to draft someone. You can't keep missing. And besides, what if we go out there, make a shot at a guy, and he ends up being a guy that can become a guy? You know what I'm saying, my guy? I needed one more, my guy. What's up? How are you? My 34th birthday was on Saturday, Raider Nation. Jeremy McCary, happy birthday to you. That's all you get. That's all you get. That myth about all black people can sing is not true. I am walking proof of that. I cannot. Miss Anna Diaz Rincon in the house. I miss you more, Anna. Thank you for being on the show. My first subscriber ever. Rodney Fuller, what's up, Bear? Hope you and the family had a great turkey day. Right back at you, Rodney Fuller. I appreciate that a lot. Steven Shaw and Mrs. Shaw. Welcome to the show. Joe Holman, what's up, man? That's all right. You got tied up. No big deal. Was she cute, though? My mind, it's in a dark place right now because of Mama Bear. No, it's not the Raiders. I don't care. Look, I'm going to help you guys out right now. I don't care that the Raiders are losing. I don't care. Guys, there's always bad teams. You know what I mean? Try to remember. There's teams that, they go way back. They've got all these Super Bowls, and then now they're just sort of hemming and hawing through their thing. You've seen the Niners. They've been good for the last, 4 or 5 seasons? What's it gotten them? You know what I mean? I want a championship. I don't care about being a mid-card team. I don't care about being an elite team that wins a bunch of games just to get there and lose. No. I want to see a solid football team that can run, play defense, throw the ball when it needs to, have a smart quarterback, an offense that works, and a coach with sense not to go for it on 4th and 3 on his own side of the field, Mr. Carroll. Early in a game, early in the season. Don't do that. Happy birthday, Kevin. Happy birthday to you. What's up, brother? Right on. One more trip around the world. Yeah, I just had mine on the 7th. My crazy squirrel's in the house. What's up, Will? Look at your beautiful daughter. She's such a cutie. John, I don't know about start all rookies. I think you should mix them in and out and see what we have. I think it's time to kind of backpedal on the season and kind of treat this almost like how you would treat preseason games, where you're just mixing guys in and out. Who's going to come in and give me energy? There was a lot of false energy out there. For example, our middle linebacker, White came in second on the team in tackles, which sounds good. Jeremy Chin led the team in tackles. White was second at linebacker. That sounds good. But in reality, he had a few whiffs too. One of them went for 30 some odd yards. And so I'm not saying that White's not a good player. I'm just saying there's some good numbers that come out of that game and some ones that are alarming. You know, White was trying to make up for things, but to have that many misses with as much experience as he has makes me think maybe he's starting to get, old right before our eyes. But remember, that's part of the Raiders' legacy. We bring in guys that, are on their last legs, maybe only have a year or two left, and we see what they've got. And we're doing that with him, I think. Dem Smoke, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Let's Spy Tech cook with his couches. At his point, I'm getting rid of Talasco and AP. JJ Watkins, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yeah, I've been on semi-vacay. Edgar Lucky De Leon said, we are a complete shit show. It's very disappointing. Now, Edgar Lucky De Leon, the game against the Broncos, we already knew we were having a bad year. We already knew things looked shaky. But when I saw I love you right back, Kevin. But when I saw what happened with us against the Broncos, that's when I knew that the house was on fire. Because the Broncos aren't bad. They're the Jets. They're that bad. They're bad. I mean, and they just kept giving us opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to win that game. And we kept giving it back. I know we are that bad. So I don't know about starting rookies all the time, but at the same time, it's time to start looking at the draft aggressively. It's time to start looking at this coaching staff. For example, we keep hearing people saying, well, Pete, you better turn it around for next year. I don't know if Pete's going to be here next year. I really don't. I think that Tom will use this as an excuse to just wipe the slate clean. And in part, I kind of like it, even though I like Pete Carroll. He had his opportunity, and it didn't fail. It failed gloriously. We have 2 wins in what is now an extended season that's a year longer than what we've ever had before. And we have 2 wins. That's not bad. It's horrendous. That's not bad. It's gigantically horrible. So, I don't care what. Pete Carroll's probably forgotten more football than a lot of people will ever know. But he still needs to be fired. You can't come in, talk about I'm a 10-win guy every year, and then do this. I agree. Quarterback at 1, and then hope we trade up into the first again and get O-line help. Well, we need to work on both, and both in free agency. We should take a kid out of school that's real nice. We should look at offensive line after that, and then we should look at both those positions at free agency and create real competition. And then get Geno out of here. And as far as Cam Miller, if you want to keep him, okay. But he's going to have to fit in and try to win a job, whether it's at 2 or 3 or 1. I don't care, but he's got to be made to work. We can't have a team anymore where we bring on guys and then everyone's supposed to feel comfy in their seat. We're not going to the movies. This isn't night camp, okay, where they play Star Wars and we all sit on bales of hay. Gave you a visual there, be honest. That was pretty cool when we were kids, when you go camping. But that can't be the way. It's got to feel like the next guy's about to take your job. It's got to. And I know some fans I've talked to in the past, and not just girls, men too, feel like that's really unfair. That if a guy's for example, if Max Crosby is the unsung starter, there's no doubt about it. Best player at that position we have. then there should be someone damn good right behind him, busting his butt trying to be better than Max. You know what I'm saying? And if we don't have that, why not? I don't care if he's the best. I don't care if he clearly would keep someone from playing. Then roll him to the other side. Or if after 2 seasons he still can't unseat Max, or at the very minimum look like a valuable backup, then trade him for value. But in reality, Pete's got to. The only way Pete gets this last upcoming season on his contract if he fires his son. If he fires his son, it shows that he's committed to it 100%. Not to his son, but to the Raiders winning. And right now, it doesn't look like he's committed to the Raiders winning. It looks like he's pissed off that he didn't get to pick his coaching staff, his GM, and he's got his, pard owner upstairs making signals and calls, from up above and interfering with things. It's no wonder we're having such a bad year. You know what I mean? Could you expect anything better with what's going on with the chaos? I really want the purple lid. If anyone sees Santa, please tell him I can explain. This guy's, yeah, okay, with the politics, John Leon. Thank you so much. How was your Thanksgiving? How's the family? Jeremy, it's been great. My wife's like an amazing cook. She's just incredible. And what's cool about her is that even when she has dishes that you eat and you like, it's like, how do I say this? She keeps making the dish better. She keeps working on making the dish better each time, so that each time she goes back to it, I want it that much more. That's how she cooks to me. So it's pretty cool. Nisi Tweet Thomas, what's up, love? Welcome to the show. We cannot roll with Geno. I throw picks Smith anymore. No quarterbacks of the future available in free agency. Pete is our worst enemy, Tomlin. Well, at this point, even when Jameis Winston's name came up and we didn't pull the trigger, that showed a sign to me that there's too much internal strife going on at the Raiders for anyone to stick their head out and say, hey, we should do this, because they feel like it's on a guillotine. You know what I mean? And I don't think there's any way that the team is going to be better until Tommy and Mark get off their bunk beds and come to a framed idea where both of them select a coach that they both like, that they can get out of the way of, and let him put his team together. And enough with Spytech. If you bring in a new head coach, you can't keep the same GM just because you like the guy. The coach may not agree with his philosophies. And then what is he going to do? Say that while his boss hears him saying that about his pet GM? The pet GM goes up to see Tom and finds out that their new coach from Iowa or wherever we get him from says, I don't like how you strategize the draft. I don't like, your priorities at which position to draft from in which round. I don't like it. It's true. He should be able to have his own guy. Alpha and Omega, appreciate the love. There was some twit on here a moment ago. He was telling me it doesn't fit my head and whatnot. I'm like, what are you talking about? I like to wear my hats low. I know some people that have it like, they'll have it like way up here on their forehead and whatnot. Ooh, my eyebrows. But they'll have it way up here in their forehead and all this stuff. And I don't like that. I think that looks silly. I pull mine down. I get the eyelids out. I like to be able to see the eyes. You know what I mean? Dave Stewart style. Come on, that's pretty cool. Dave Stewart reference. Who remembers Stewie? He used to always do that. He had those glaring eyes, and he would just barely let them come out. And all you could see was his mitt, his hat, and his eyes just burning into the catcher's mitt, looking at those hitters like the Grim Reaper. I used to love it. Go Redneck! True. Hello! I still say if Carr didn't go down in 2016, we would have taken it with the talent we had. Yeah, but at the same time, the Carr experiment was a massive failure when you really think about it. We gave him the job. He earned it. You know what I mean? He flashed and looked great, but then you got 9 years and, he could never grab games and make things happen. He kept acting as though he didn't have enough definitive weapons. Well, there's no team
that has all the weapons they want. You still got to pull the trigger. And he just wouldn't do it. He would say literally on camera repeatedly, I'm not going to mess up my completion percentage throwing at a guy that's double covered. Well, you do throw it if he's outrunning those two guys. And if you lead him to the ball, maybe he outruns them to the ball. Would never throw that kind of throw. So I don't agree with that about Derek. Why did the Raiders not sign Thayer Munford? I don't know, and I love Thayer Munford. I don't understand that at all. I think that might have been an explosion on the roster because I know we have interviews on camera where Thayer Munford said, "I'm rolling. I'm blocking everyone. I feel great. I think I'm going to be a real player on this team," and then he just disappeared. Bam, bam. Let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry about that. I'm kind of studying and reading and pulling up notes and trying to remember everything I wanted to talk to you guys about. So there really was a locker room thing right from the beginning of the season. And all the coaching staff was uncomfortable with the fact that Tom and Mark were essentially kind of puppeting everything from upstairs. And how can you judge the results from that? And so as fans, we've been kept out of the loop. And they basically pacified us by saying, oh, look, we're going to fire Chip Kelly. When in reality, what does that really change? Why not just let him finish the season? I mean, I realize all of you are calling for us to fire him. And everyone's saying, oh, fire Brennan Carroll. Fire him too. Why? I'm not saying they're good coaches. I'm just saying, what difference is it going to make at this point? What are they going to do? Change what they're running? They can't. You're in the mid part of your year. You can't institute a new package this point of the year. If you bring in a new offensive coordinator, what if he wants to do more of a run blocking system, or he wants to do more of a delayed pass, protection system? I mean, if he does any of those things, then you have to rework the line again. How do you do that during the season? It's just, we're in a nightmare, and it's the upper management's fault. We're all talking about Pete Carroll, Chip Kelly, and all that stuff. I don't think it really has anything to do with much of any of that. They're all being hamstrung by upstairs. I believe that. We're even finding out now slowly that Chip Kelly wasn't really calling the plays. He was only working with Pete Carroll to design an offense that he liked, that looked more like what they were running back in Seattle. And then when Chip Kelly would try to resist that and kind of go to other things and start running delayed draw, play action from the shotgun, fake the run or let the runner take it and then let it, fly short or second level or deeper. They just took that out of our offense. You know what I mean? And it was like after week 3, you didn't see that anymore. And I'm not saying that's the change on the season, but it's damn for sure messed with your offense. You know what I mean? But at this point, they'll do some sort of, whitewashing of it all by getting rid of Pete Carroll probably at the end of the year. And it's not really on Pete. It is and it isn't. Joe Holman, it's officially Christmas season. You look great, man. I changed up my profile pic and put on my naughty hat. Have you seen the quarterback from Penn State, Drew Allar? I don't think he's a world shaker. Yeah, not the biggest arm, but I think he's going to be okay. I hate saying this, but I don't think they're going to try to win another game, and I don't think they should. Brother, that picture is fantastic. I do understand who you're talking about, the kid at Penn State, and I agree. Does not the most dynamic guy, but a leader. You know what I mean? I could see that. I was asked a minute ago, who was that? Jeremy McCrary asked me, who is the best quarterback in the 2026 draft that we can draft or that we should draft? Now, who the best is always debatable. And we need to see more I personally need to see more leading up to the draft before I can really sit down on one guy. But I'll give you this. Because I do have a list of guys. I'm looking at it now, and they're just guys that I've already kind of picked as guys that I would like to see potentially get the job. Okay, now most people would argue Ty Simpson with Alabama is obvious. Okay, so I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay, Ty Simpson, Dante Moore with Oregon. I think that's, pedigree, tools. I think he's got it all. And then last but not least, Fernando Mendoza of Indiana. Now, Fernando Mendoza kind of intrigues me. I'm just going to say that for now. He might be the guy, though. I think Fernando Mendoza might be the guy. And I think it's in part because for the first time that I can ever remember, you remember when guys would come into the NFL, the first thing that you would find out is that, the young guys would say, this is really rough because they're so much bigger in the NFL and so much faster in the NFL and so much this and so much that. I'm not seeing that like I used to. I'm starting to see the level of athleticism level off more and more to where now you're seeing a guy like Brock Bowers come into the league and he takes 1 year, and even in his rookie season, he was really, really good. But now he's even better. You know what I mean? As far as his understanding of what he's supposed to be doing, most of what he did as a rookie was just like, crazy athleticism and being smart, assimilating the playbook. Now you're seeing athletic gifts. His catch in the end zone, I know we've all been making a big deal out of it. Everyone, Raider fans, been talking about it, and they should be. That catch was amazing. First, you have to remember, all of his momentum was going away from the ball. That's one. Two, he's not left-handed. So to reach out like that with a defender on your body, which is another level of difficulty, to then catch it with the left hand and to be able to pull it in with just the left hand and score a touchdown in the corner of the end zone. I mean, it's like raise the level of difficulty, raise the level of difficulty, raise the level of difficulty. And he made the play and made it look easy. So we have something there, but it's no different than what we have in Max Crosby. It's just on the other side of the ball. Are we going to treat Brock any better? I mean, I hope so, because we've been treating our guy Max like garbage. Malcolm Kuntz is his Robin to his Batman. Really? Max Crosby is Batman, and he's supposed to look across for his Robin, and we're telling him it's... I'm like choking myself. I'm getting so mad. Malcolm Kuntz? Stop it. All the way across from the land of whiskey and crumpets, my guy, Kenny Blair. One time for Kenny Blair. Gonna get my pinky out, get my tea. I'll slurp it just for you. No, I'm not gonna do that. Bob, we tried to do the young coach with experience, but Ben Johnson was using us, I think, as leverage, because the Chicago Bears already had their quarterback. So to go there and work with that young guy, in my opinion, probably made more sense than coming to us when we didn't have our guy yet. Yeah, Edgar Lucky De Leon, the catch was amazing. Joe, I wouldn't even mind if they just traded for someone experienced. I don't want to put all that pressure on a defensive end coming out of college. They still should feel pressure. I think you should do that to all of them. But at the same time, you got to, how do I say this? You got to get a warrior. We got to get Max another warrior. You guys realize how hard it is to land on a Max. Look at how long we've had him. We haven't been able to find another one. In the draft or free agency, we haven't been able to lock it down. It's difficult, and we wasted Khalil Mack's career the exact same way. Bruce Irvin on the opposite side of Khalil Mack. Really? You know what I mean? Bruce Irvin and Malcolm Kuntz might as well be related. They're both a part of the family bum. Draft edge rusher to pair with Max first. Pick, then we draft offensive line. Day 2, get the quarterback. Day 3, get or trade for Jameis Winston in free agency. Lucky Pace, I loved everything about that. I love everything about that. I was asked a quarterback question, so I said quarterback, go get the quarterback. But if the best lineman or defensive end available is there, you go get him. We've been running from that position for too long with Carter, who ended up going to the Eagles. We got to get that fixed. Demon Smoke, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. It's good to see you too, brother. Dale Thacker said, what does Gino have on Pete that he's ready to lose his job over it? Well, no, Dale, it's not that. It's just his best chance is Gino. It really is, guys. I realize that sounds crazy because all of the bad play and the bad throws, but to bring in another guy this late in the year and say, try to win 5 games for us, it's not going to happen. If we had done it when I said on the bye, then we might have been all right. But we didn't. We didn't make moves on the bye. When we made no move on the bye to improve that situation, I knew our season was over. That was it. The reaction coming out of the bye was going to tell you the kind of team we are and the ideas that management had. Does the management want to tank at this point? Do they want to rearrange the roster, light a fire under the coaches, go hard into free agency and try to win, more than we lose the rest of the way down, win 4, lose 1 or 2? And we did nothing, next to nothing. And that told me right there, we're not serious right now, at least not for this season. It seems like all we do is run Ginty into a brick wall the whole game. Why don't these idiot coaches throw in Mostert and some other running backs here and there, mix it up a little? It's so frustrating to watch. What's even more frustrating, Jim, and great comment, welcome to the show again, is that it's bothering Ginty too, because he knows he has skills. He knows he can do this for us. But our offense has to work with him. You know what I mean? He's not Walter Payton. You know what I mean? Bo Jackson ain't walking through that door. He ain't Marshawn Lynch. But is he good? Yes, he's real good. If we can just get him going. But that's on us too. The offensive line, the actual play calling, and then the execution of that play has got to be tight. And I'm sorry, there's just times where Brock Bowers, no matter how brilliant he may be, he really has brain farts. I swear to you. I know we're all in love with him right now because he made that left-handed catch, but I do not fall in love. I don't do that, okay? I fall in like. So I don't get carried away by that stuff, and I can still see things objectively, like my guy, Lucky Pace, who I tell clearly is like that too. But they're just plays where he's supposed to block on a play, and they'll snap the ball, and he'll start shuffling his feet like he's going to run a route, and then turn to look for the guy he's supposed to block, and that guy's running by him because he hesitated, pretending he's going to run a route. I understand he may have been trying to sell the play, but the defender wasn't buying, and you got to be there, eyes on him. So if he tries to blow by, you get your shoulder out and get that guy. And instead, he was letting his man blow up plays. And so it's not all on Ashton Ginty. I'm tired of everybody getting on Ashton Ginty. At first, when the season started and things weren't getting started well for him, you could have argued that it was him. But at the same time, now that we've seen the evidence that the offensive line is consistently bad, the play calling has been consistently bad. How is he supposed to overcome those two things? Not only that, the protections and the call-outs that are a part of the blocking scheme to help him has collapsed. Did you see Jeremy Parnham out there? Maybe I'm saying the wrong first name. Dylan Parham. I said Jeremy. Dylan Parham. He was bad. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's gotten old before our eyes because he's always been fairly solid for us. Not a superstar, but good. Even when we mixed him around, he was always serviceable to very good at minimum. This season, and I'm not just talking about this last game, I'm talking about this season. That's been good. He's given up more pressures and sacks than he's been in total games. I'm not good. He's given up a lot of pressures. It's unlike him, but he is. For the first time, it looks like he's slipping. And that we may need to make a move with him. Just let him go and put someone else in that position because Dylan Parham ain't it. And I hate saying that because I'm talking about Malcolm Kuntz, gotta go. Tyree Wilson, gotta go. Dylan Parham, out. You know what I mean? They gotta go. They gotta go because it's not happening. It's just not happening with them. Obviously, I don't even want to talk about Brock Bowers. His yards, his numbers, everything was great. It was very impressive. Jeremy Chin was really good. I want to remind everybody about that. He had a team high 17 tackles. He had a Pro Football Focus rating of 87%, which is fantastic. And he was 90.9. I want to make sure I'm saying that right. Make sure. Yeah, 90.9 against the run. So, I mean, you had something going there, and then Lonnie Johnson comes back, gets healthy, and has 20 total tackles, but missed 3. Okay, he only participated in 36 snaps out of 67 total. He's only played in 4 games. So I'm kind of done with Lonnie Johnson Jr. That needs to be done with. And one of the only bright spots that was coming out on the offensive line was the snaps Caleb Rogers was getting. He got only a Pro Football Focus of 51.7, which obviously isn't great, but against what he was working with, it's pretty good. And that's pressures and earned pass blocking grades all coming together to give him a 51.7. And then he had a decent show in his run offense at 68.7. So that's a pretty big jump. Improvement from 51.7 with his pass blocking to 68.7 with his run blocking. I thought that was a good sight. And then, of course, I brought up already the part with Devin White. I mean, I just couldn't believe how bad Devin White played there. But it's like it's hit or miss with him, too. He's had a pretty good season overall, but that was not a good game for him. Again, like I said, he was second on the team in tackles, but he missed quite a few. 4 missed tackles, and one of the ones was a 30-yard touchdown. So that was tough. The Raiders' ground game looked more of the same. Rookie running back Ashton Jeanty had 15 carries for 31 yards and averaged 2.1 yards per attempt. His longest carry was a 9-yard gain in the second half. Pete V24. I mean, I know you already heard me say it because I'm getting to the questions kind of behind. I'm saying things and then I go to the questions, and sometimes the questions are things I've already covered. But yeah, Ashton Jeanty's getting screwed around, and it's no different. The players are the ones that make the results, but they have to have solid coaching and a solid front office that's putting together the right guys to create the chemistry to then learn the game, improve, and win rings. That's the game. Everything else is irrelevant. What if we win the division, go into the playoffs, and lose in the second round? Are you going to be happy about that? No. You're going to be mad. Oh, we got this far. Oh, we were in the playoffs. We should have won it all. That's how we all feel. So I don't care. It's either the Super Bowl or next year we make a run again. We start over, we make a run again. And you can say start over, even if you keep the same coaching staff and the same players, same quarterback, all that stuff, because every single year you've got to make adjustments. Even if you see the roster not change at all, the playbook changes, it upgrades, the play calls change. Now the new players you bring on and the old players have to come back and learn new cadences, learn new calls. And you have to do that whether you want to or not. Because if you don't, smart defensive teams that know how to film study will see what you're calling, see what you're doing. They have audio and video. 12, 11, dragon right. And then they hear you say that, and then they find out it's a toss with a tight end blocking on that side after emotions from the left. Okay, well, let's see. They call that dragon play guy, motions to the left. Now they know what you're running. And so they got to go through the whole season of fixing that. Jacobs was a real workhorse. He really was. But our line was better for him. It was. Kevin, I do think that Mark needs to sell the team. I think that he hurts us because he's trying to figure this out, and I don't think he's a smart enough man to do that. And so what he does is he gets involved because he thinks he's like his dad, And then he fails. Can I keep going? No. and then he says, you know what? I'm going to go get Tom Kendall Brady, put him in charge, and I'm just going to step back and watch the winning. How's that going for you? Turtleneck? Dating 20-year-olds or pretending to? Yeah, it turned out that blonde that was sitting next to him has a fiance and a baby. What are you doing, Mark? Now you're chasing other guys, young girls? Aren't you rich? Glenn Ford, Gino doesn't run for the same reason Derek Carr stopped running. He doesn't want to get hurt. Gino's not injury prone, but he is if he gets hit too much. He can take hits and slide down, turn, and things like that, but not hits. So if he's running for yards and he's trying to, get somewhere and somebody drills him, that's it for Gino. Tanamoku, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I was wondering the same thing the other day. He must have something on him. Yeah, you're right. Let Spytech pick the coach. Okay, as long as the coach and him agree on philosophy, and then more importantly, then he lets that coach pick his staff. If he does that, then okay. Stu! Bear, I'm late for the party, but tell me you're finally done with Gino and the Pete Carroll experience. Carlos, boy, kids, always busting the Bears' balls because he was all on board with Pete Carroll. And I really thought Pete Carroll was going to put that 10-win magic on us, and then maybe next year with an additional crop of young people and draft picks, and trades, I thought we could do something, but, it went in one ear and out the other. Oh, good Lord. Peggy's here, honey, and all her winning with the Steelers. Your new time slot doesn't sync with the kids' schedule. Don't let me find out you're avoiding a lovable Steeler fan. Never, love, never. What's up, Tim? Welcome to the show. Hi, Mama Bear.
Hello.
What's up?
I just wanted to come say hi.
I want to say hi to everybody. There you go. I've got I know, I'm coming. I got a few more minutes. I got to keep throwing this knowledge at him for a few more minutes. More of this education in proper English. And then we're going to know about everything you have to know about the Raiders, even if it's depressing.
Oh.
My wife has to throw a robe over me and rub my shoulders when they lose. It's okay, Bear. It's okay. Stop crying.
I'm used to it because it happens so often.
What's up, Bear? I think the old man Pete is one and done. Troy Gill, what's up, brother? Welcome to the show. I got to agree. Young Trey Jan, wow. You know what? Your comment, no, but I'm a huge Vegeta guy. So if you planned on being rude to me for the rest of the show, you probably shouldn't, because we might be right here when it comes to DBZ. I'm all about the Prince of All Saiyans. We need a fullback in our offense, so Ginty in the red zone. No, I just want the line to get better. Tim Newport, I blame Brady. Well, Tim, I don't know if that's you or Peggy or both, because you're both brilliant, but I would say I do too. I don't like how Brady's handled the situation. You can tell just by how the way the season's been run that there's strife there. There's strife there. And the players can't have that. You know what I mean? You have to think of it like your parents in a divorce, how it affects the kids. The kids, still go to school and they play with video games and stuff, but they're not happy. They want to go to grandma's because they're tired of hearing their mom and dad argue about stuff. And they think that their kids can't hear it because they shut the door and turn the TV up. No, I didn't come from anything like that. My mother and father were married their whole life. I come from the good stuff. Okay. A very successful marriage, but that's what it's like. And Brady's a bum, and you can tell because his own wife left him for a karate instructor. I'm sorry. Why not a masseuse? That would have hurt less. I mean, at least masseuses make a little money. A karate instructor? Why not a cheerleader? They don't make any money either. You bum. All right. Enough references. I've got people hating the purple. I got people loving the perp. I got people ripping me for the perp. All right, here we go. We should be in military mode and wanting to just destroy whoever we have left on the schedule. So I'll go with the camo. I want the Raiders to get the Indiana Hoosiers quarterback. That was one of the guys I mentioned, and I would agree with that. I watched the Lars first game this year, and he didn't look good at all. Tana, I don't take too much from that. You have to remember that sometimes a college quarterback is meant to be molded like clay by NFL coaches. So they will look at guys in the quarterback. They will look at quarterbacks in the NCAA ranks a little differently than we do. You know what I mean? There'll be guys in there that they say to themselves, hey, I don't care if we get that guy in the 5th round. I can make him work. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's smart. If we can put a good line in front of him, we can win some games, you know. And just to make Peggy smile, look at what, you know, the Steelers did with Ben Roethlisberger. Not the most mobile guy, you know what I mean? Not always the most accurate guy, but he could throw the ball a country mile. He was hard to get down. And if your offensive line and your running game were pretty good, you know, you could win with that guy. And to me, a guy that looks like Ben Roethlisberger, he probably wouldn't get picked, you know, but for the like 5th, 6th, or 7th round. And yet, look what he did, you know. I think that there are guys in this draft that can have that kind of career. Maybe not quite as much success, but could have similar success, like Fernando Mendoza. I like him a lot. Which type of quarterback should we draft? A mobile one or one that's tall and can sling the ball with accuracy from the pocket? Well, Alpha and Omega, I'm looking for both. Now, that's not a cop-out answer. I want to be clear. I want a pocket passer. Okay, pocket passers win Super Bowl games. Now, Russell Wilson was a pocket passer who was also elusive enough that he could give you a little 10-yard, 9-yard, 8-yard run here and there. I want that. I want that tweener. I want Daniel Craig, the guy that, or I'm so bad with names tonight, but the quarterback that was with the Giants that went to the Colts. He's the prototype. Big body, but not like Roethlisberger. He's lean, can run, has speed, knows when to get down. He's not trying to challenge guys, and he stands in the pocket and throws strikes. I want that. You know what I mean? And if I have to choose, then I want the pocket thrower. I don't want the running quarterback. I realize people get enamored by running quarterbacks. What's Lamar Jackson won? I'll wait. Isn't Lamar Jackson the best running quarterback in football? How about Josh Allen? Great running quarterback. Powerful arm. What's he won? Nothing. So, you know, I hate to say it, you know, but the light-skinned wimp with the blue eyes and the stick figure wife stands in the pocket and throws, wins Super Bowls. You know, Jalen Hurts, he can run, but he only does it when it's appropriate. Otherwise, he's handing it off to his running back or he's slinging the rock. He can throw the deep ball and he can run. That's where the NFL is now. You need that Swiss Army knife. He's got to be able to go through his progressions. He's got to be able to hit people on the field, and he's got to be able to run for a handful of yards here and there. Geno ain't that guy. He doesn't have the frame for it. Not big enough in the butt. And if you think of every guy I just talked about, everyone, they got something back there. Caboose. Stephen Shaw and Mrs. Shaw. You're right, brother. Max needs more help in a bad way. It's not fair. Yeah, it's way too little. Corinna! True. Hello. R8RBEAR Reese Buckeye would be one Max and one a Reese or down safety Buckeye. Jeffrey McCurry. Okay. I like that. We had Chasen, Glenn Ford, and we made the mistake. I agree with you. We had brought him in from the Jaguars. That was a move. It was smart. He was tough. I don't know what we were doing there. We have Stryker out on a DN the last few drafts besides Max. I don't know the reason for it, but from week 3 or 4, I've smelled sabotage from that panty waist Brady. I completely agree. I don't think he ever wanted Pete Carroll. I think he settled on him. That's it. And then blew up his chances of even being there for the second half of his contract. Dale Thacker, that is a messed up comment. And completely accurate. It's hard to be a Raider fan, but my Queen Angela keeps me going. Can you give her a Raiders for me? Angela, we need our Raiderettes to keep our men in line. Got to give them that spirit, just like Mama Bear does for me. You keep kicking Edgard in the butt. Our Raiders! That one for Angela. I hope Kermit Mahomes and the Chiefs miss the playoffs. They may. I'm sorry, I'm like 8 beers in. I really want to say, still love you too, Kevin. Anthony Ross Hanson, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Drake May is turning out to be pretty good. Pete Almeida, yes. Yeah, Pete Carroll's gone. And if he's not, that's another sign that we're not serious. Because it means that Brady's probably trying to buy more time to get to the next class, get the coach out of college that he wants, and then make his run the way he wants to make it. But that's certainly what it seems like right now. He wants to make a run, but he wants to do it his way. Old Tomo Brado. All right, that's my show. Much love. Shout out to our armed forces. Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force. For all you do, the energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. And on a further note that has nothing to do with football, everyone's heard about a Poseidon missile that the Russians have? That's a farce. Our subs would pick it up on radar and knock it down, and then they would get their asses kicked. God bless you. I hope you all had a great Thanksgiving, and I'll see you tomorrow. R8RBEAR family page. Peace!